Hey, so I wanted to come on here and discuss the passing and the legacy of my favorite TV personality of all time and the greatest MC to ever live, Bob Barker. For those of you who know me well, or even know me just a little bit, you've probably heard my story about when I attended The Price is Right at CBS Television City in Los Angeles back in 2007. This day was probably one of the best days I've ever had in my entire life, and I wanted to walk you guys through it. For me, attending The Price is Right was a huge bucket list item, something I always thought about doing. But for a guy living super far away, it just seemed like a pipe dream. Well, when I caught wind that he was retiring, I thought to myself, I have to find a way to go out there. Absolutely have to find a way. So I did. I remember, like it was yesterday, writing the letter to CBS Television City, requesting the tickets, and then I remember receiving those tickets and just having them in my hand. And I remember going out to the bars one night, and I'm just showing random strangers my tickets to The Price is Right because I was so excited to go. And so I flew out to San Diego first. Went to visit a friend out there, saw the Reds in San Diego, took the Amtrak up to LA. I'll never forget how strange it felt to tell the taxi at the time, CBS Television City, please. It almost seemed like a joke, but it was real and it was happening. So took the taxi to the corner of Beverly and Fairfax, and just seeing the building, the actual building of CBS Television City with my own two eyes was absolutely freaking wild. Like, it was just one of those things where it was just like, am I really doing this? Is this really happening? And so I get dropped off in the 52nd person in line. This is 4:30 in the afternoon on Wednesday, May 16th. First come, first serve. So it was important to get out there early. Just me, myself, and I on the sidewalk with nothing but the clothes on my back. And so, yeah, I waited. Day turned to night. I'm talking to people around me. And this is a little bit before the smartphone era. So I feel like nowadays everybody would be recording everything and posting to Instagram and other sites. But back then, people were just talking to one another. And just the stories that I heard, where people came from, what Bob meant to them, what The Price is Right meant to them, and just the collective joy of everybody checking something off of their bucket list. The anticipation of the moment, wondering what was it going to be like once you got inside. And so, as night fell, I stayed up the entire night, as did most people. I met some really nice people who see my spot in line. Like by myself, I'm walking up and down the line. I'm just talking to random people, asking them their stories. I see their shirts, making conversation. It was like one giant party. That's what it was. And just the energy, the anticipation, the excitement. I mean, this is all on the sidewalk. We're not even in the studio yet. Just being there in Los Angeles, something that I thought about for a long time. And for it to actually be happening, my mind really couldn't process it. And so, just as night turned into morning, I'm still pretty wide awake. I'm extremely excited. We go in for some processing, and then they release us. They get breakfast, and the taping was at 2:30 on Thursday, March 17th. We get back there a couple hours early, do the processing. Everybody in the audience interviews with one of the producers. The simple question was, where were you from and what do you do? And what they were looking for with this was not so much the answers you gave, but I guess sort of the energy, the vibe, the aura. I made a joke about going out teaching and wanting to be the next kindergarten cop. I tried to express my excitement of being out there. And, as did others. I had on a college shirt. Other people had on special, theme shirts that people like to wear for the show. And so as a group, we're all sort of being corralled from one area to another. And finally, they let us in. We make the long walk up the stairs. And I feel like at this point, my legs are shaking. You know, here I am, small town guy, 25 years old at the time, had watched this show hundreds, if not thousands of times on TV. And here I am walking up the stairs into the Bob Barker studio. And so I'll never forget the feeling of what it was like to walk through those doors into the studio and just to see everything, the stage, the seats, the doors. I mean, it literally blew my mind that here I was, all this was right in front of my face. I mean, like I said, I'd seen this on TV countless times, but right now I was actually looking at it. And to be honest, the stage was a lot smaller than I expected. It honestly didn't look much bigger than like a high school auditorium. I think about 300 seats. You had the stage, the doors, and all the props were kind of like, you could see the props for sure. Like on TV, the impression that you got was that the stage was absolutely enormous, but that wasn't the case. And so, yeah, we're in the studio. They're getting the crowd fired up. Rich Fields, the host at the time, not the, of course you had Bob, but Rich Fields is one who read off the names. You know, we get to meet him. They do a warm-up. They're playing music. The cameras point at everybody who they're going to pick for the first 4 contestants. And I swore that they pointed right at me, but they did pick the blonde girl next to me, but it wasn't meant to be for me. But definitely each time coming back from commercial break, I clutched my chair in anticipation of something that never happened. But anyway, moving on. So the show's about to start. Crowd's going wild. I'll never forget what it was like when Bob walked through those doors. I mean, the place just went insane. And just to see Bob Barker right there with my own 2 eyes, it was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's something that I've carried with me for a long time. I've never been a part of something like that. So the show goes on. It was basically an hour length, which is what it's like in real life. And when I watched the actual television version, it was pretty much the same. Not really anything got edited out. Well, so during the commercial breaks, Bob's talking to the audience, and everything is, I mean, he's funny, he's witty, engaging, and I mean, the audience at this point, we're all deliriously tired but excited at the same time. But my recollection is that nobody that day really won any large prizes. Actually, both contestants overbid. And when both contestants overbid, Bob walks to the audience and talks to everybody. So I got to have a 5-minute conversation with Bob Barker where commented on my height, commented on my home state, and thanked me and the others around me for our loyalty and our dedication to the show. So just an amazing experience that, you know, unfortunately I was by myself and I don't keep in touch with anybody who was there, so it's sort of an experience that lives in my mind. I don't really have anybody to talk about it with, but I'll definitely carry it with me. And just to leave the studio with the gratification of knowing what I did and knowing that I checked off a huge item off my bucket list, I mean, you can't put a price on that. So yeah, I tried to cover it all. I mean, the experience just absolutely blew my mind, and hopefully everybody out there gets to have something similar in their life, whether it's The Price is Right or something else, because this was a day and a period of time and an energy I felt that it was just unbelievable. So yeah, I wanted to come on here and ramble with some of my thoughts about my amazing live experience with The Price is Right, what it was like before the show, what it was like during the show, and afterwards. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but all the props were basically there on stage, so we kind of knew what they were going to do. But it just, yeah, I'm going to cut this off here. But if you guys watch all this, I definitely appreciate it. Until next time, I'll talk to you later. Take care.